welcome to Amethyst Style Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to do a fun card which is something which is quite clean and simple but a real modern twist. So there's not a lot on the card but it looks really stunning. So we're using note cards because I've been using note cards a lot recently. Because, as I say, they are really easy to use. They come in a pack of 20 with matching envelopes and they are only a few pounds, so they're a really good investment. So the things that we need a we're going to use a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is going to be a mat of lemon lime twist. The measurements will be down on the bottom, but basically what I'm doing is I'm taking 1/8 of an inch off of the notelet on each side and then 1/8 of an inch off again. So we've got a very tiny border in lemon lime twist. But as I say, because it's 1/8 of an inch, I will put the directions over on my blog or down below. So just check out on there. We are using 3 stamp sets. This one was carried over from Christmas. And it has the most lovely little rabbit or little bunny rabbit there. It's got balloons, it's got hearts, it's got daisies. So it really is, although it was used a lot at Christmas time, it's a great set for using as it's been carried over for other things. And we're going to use the little bunny on this one. We're using a free Sale-a-bration stamp set, which is part of my story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentiments, which are just great fun. Let's get together and giggle. You're my chosen family. Know that today a friend is thinking of you. The world needs more people like you. Just really lovely sentiments. And then we're using a good old favourite, Timeless Textures. And we're using this little grid at the bottom, and that's what we're going to work with. We also need one of our Stampin' Right markers, which is the black. And the black you can get on its own. So it's a really useful tool because it's a really good one. And a ruler. The grid paper is absolutely perfect for this because we need to really try and line this up as best we can. So with the grid paper and the grid stamp from Timeless Textures, we're going to ink it up in a good black ink. And then trying to do it as accurately as possible, which is always a bit of a challenge on my bright lights, because as soon as I get my block out, it reflects. But I want it to come as near as I can on here to try and get it straight. So I'm just going to bring it down on here, and I will get my head in, but I want to try and get it as straight as I can. And just in the middle. If it's not completely straight, well, it's not completely straight. Okay, I think that's not too bad. Okay, so the next one we want to do is the little bunny. And we want to take the bunny so that it's just going into the brick, which is going to be a brick wall, but not quite in there. So when there's a little space piece, we just want to literally just put him down like this. So again, excuse my head coming in, but I want to try and get it relatively accurately. And then we have got the sentiment, let's get together and giggle, because I like that one. So we're going to put that one just literally on the side here. And again, I'm hoping it's going to be relatively straight on camera, but if it's a little bit out, then it's a little bit out. But hopefully it will not be too bad. Fingers crossed. That's not too bad. It's a little bit out, but as I say, the camera, it's very difficult to do it on there. You can obviously line it up perfectly with your grid paper, so it's not going to do that. Now, with our ruler, we are going to make this little piece solid. So we need to line up the ruler with the top marks. And again, it's going to be quite sort of abstract. So take the fine point on there. And then we are just going to take it from there up to where the bunny is. And then obviously not over the little egg. And then across and out like that. So Make sure I've got it right up to the end. And then down at the bottom, down on here. And again, try and get it as straight as you can. But as I said, with camera lights and things, it's not always perfect. And it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we have a little sort of brick wall with our bunnies in there. And I'm going to use, because I haven't got lemon lime twist in my markers, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, because that's quite a nice, bright, vibrant colour as well. And we are literally going to, fairly quickly, because as I say, I don't want to take too much time, we're just going to go down every other one. So let's just move it up and try and get it down every other one. Now I'm going to have to let's do it up from the bottom, because some of these won't necessarily completely match up from the bunny. That's better. So as I say, you're just going to, and again, it doesn't have to be overly accurate, because it's quite just a modern take on a card, which works quite well, I think, sometimes. As I say, I love doing lots of different styles of cards, and teenagers and young people, or younger people, sometimes like sort of modern styling, which doesn't have a huge amount on there. I think we're all guilty, I certainly am, of trying to get as much onto a card, and when people say to me clean and simple, I find that really difficult to do sometimes. Whereas this actually is going to have a lot of white space on it, but it's got just sort of this modern little element in there. It does take a little moment to do this, but not hopefully too long. And as I say, you're just literally every other square in the dark Granny Apple Green or Lemon Lime Twist, whichever one you've got. And then we're going to do the opposite ones in the light. So you've got that light and dark tone of the brickwork. And again, if you leave some little white spaces, it really doesn't matter, because it's just sort of a rough look of the brickwork, and it's just really a square shape at the bottom, which will just sort of add a little something to the card. And I've chosen the bright greens because, as I say, it is quite a nice bright colour. Okay, so that's that bit. And then we need to, let's put those back. We need to, on the little bunny, we just need to have his little ears. So I'm using the light petal pink, and just want the inside of his ears to be in the light petal pink, his or her. And then the actual bunny itself I'm going to have in the light smoky slate. So, and again, when it's a really tiny piece like this, particularly up in here, this is me trying to see it with my lights, is just to do little dots, because you don't want the colour to be too intense, because it's a very small image, and what you don't want is the little bunny's eyes and his little mouth to be lost. So I'm just literally, as you can see, just dotting very, very lightly. I'm hardly touching the paper at all. And then we want the little egg. What colour shall I do the little egg? I think I'm going to do it in the ivory, which hopefully will be a sort of an eggy sort of colour with a bit of luck. Once it's dried, I think it'll come out a little bit paler. Now you can put little bits of shadow on this if you want to, or you don't have to if you don't want to. But yes, that'll come out quite pale, like that. And then I am going to take what's the light crumb cake, I think will just give me a little bit of a shape round the side of this one. So I'm just going to very gently just dot it down on there. And dot it down on there so it gives and just down on there. To give just a little bit of a shadow, which will come out when it's darker. Okay, so then if we put this on the lemon lime twist or granny apple green, whichever you've got. I just happen to have this on there. And then we take our notelets and just put that on there. You have, let's move that out of the way. You have a very simple one layer card, but with quite a nice sort of geometric styling pattern on there. I did another one earlier just to have a play with it, and this time I did it in fresh fig. And so that one would look like that. But again, as I say, it's simple. It doesn't take too much time. It uses the timeless textures in a slightly different way. This one, I put a little pearl on there. You could put a little pearl on each one. You could put a little bit of wink of Stella, or you could leave it exactly like that. But as I say, a very simple, easy card to achieve, but quite fun and modern. So thank you so much for watching me, and look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.